What's up, scorers? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Sean Suge Amos. And before we start, make sure you guys check out our merch page. You can go to scoresociety.com. We got high quality hoodies, high quality shorts. Just check it out. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Now, with that said, let's get right into it. Kyrie Irving is out for the season with an ACL tear. First and foremost, Kyrie get better. I know what it feels like to go through an ACL tear. I tore my ACL 4 years ago. I didn't get surgery because I didn't plan on playing basketball anymore, which, I still play here and there, but I know how that can mess with the mental. I know how that can mess with you. He's having a great year. He's playing more than he ever played in the last maybe 4 or 5 years. And the Dallas fans, man, I know they got to be sick. In the last 2 months, they world been turned upside down. They got rid of Luka, and now this. I don't know. I don't know about what's going to happen with Dallas. And ironically enough, the same day Kyrie tore his ACL, they raised the ticket prices to about 8%. So a couple things that tells me. Either the rent went up or something big about to happen in Dallas. I think they got something in the works because none of it makes sense. You're talking bringing your prices up 8%. Luka just got traded. Gafford is out. Lively is out. PJ Washington is out. I love Klay Thompson, but I don't think people want to pay the increase at this moment of his career. I know what can probably happen. I think KD is going to go to the Mavericks. If they get KD, I would think PJ Washington will leave. I think PJ Washington go. I think Lively go. They give him some picks. Maybe a couple dudes off the bench. But something big is going to happen in Dallas because there's no way they just increase their tickets by 8% and all your star players are injured. AD, Lively, Gafford, now Kyrie, which they didn't know, and you just traded Luka a couple months before without any reason. So we'll see. But shout out to Kyrie. Hope you get better, man. But Dallas, I feel for you guys. Speaking of KD, everyone's still talking about KD being traded. And if he does get traded, because I don't think that's always the solution. I don't think it's always the solution to trade guys. Because KD come with a lot. KD going to cost you a lot. Like I said earlier, Dallas, I think Dallas can work. But you lose PJ Washington, potentially. You lose a potential big man and probably Gafford or Lively. And you lose some picks. He won't cost a lot. He's about in his 16th year or so. Don't quote me on that. Could be totally wrong, but he around there, 16 year. So you get rid of a lot of potential rising stars. Some are saying OKC. I think that'd be a great welcoming home party, but you're going to lose a lot of those star players. You're going to lose, maybe not a lot of the star players, but you'll lose some players that you need. And I don't know. I don't think that's the solution. For instance, the team like a Thunder is number one in the West. The only way I say you go after a KD, if you're the Thunder, if something crazy happens the last four or 5 weeks of the season, or you get bumped out of the playoffs the first round and you realize, hey, man, we need some experience. We need someone else who can create their own shot. I mean, they got SGA. They got Kid Williams. He's pretty good. But as far as experience, they have no experience. They just balling out of emotion and balling out of friendship. I watched the Clippers and Suns game the other night, and I'm not gonna lie, man. It wasn't good to see. The first 3 quarters was just nasty. No defense at all. At one point, the Clippers had 44 points in the paint. And that was before the fourth quarter. Like, no defense at all. And KD got into it with his coach. From what it looks like. It looked like he got it into his coach. Coach, I guess he tried to get his attention by grabbing his arm. KD snatched away from it. When I saw that, I said, yeah, KD out of there. I ain't never see KD do that. KD usually handles himself in a professional way. But that day, I was like, he's out of there. Then you go to the press conference, and KD talked about that's their relationship. They're both competitive.
We competitive as two individuals who want to see things done the right way. And sometimes my way ain't the way that Bud want to do it, and vice versa.
And one of the things that I like about that is that I think young players can learn from that moment. There's so many times where young players are losing their opportunity on the basketball court simply because they're so emotional with their coach. They're so emotional with the time. Oh, I'm not getting this playing time. I'm not getting off what I want. Man, you got to understand, as a young player, your coach is competitive too. Don't get me wrong. I know it's some bad coach-player relationships. I'm not saying the coach is always right, but I am saying for KD to pick that out, to say that, it was eye-opening. I hope young players can learn from that. The solution is not always, I'm gonna go somewhere where coach likes me. Sometimes you gotta work with your coach, and your coach gotta work with you. That's how you build a relationship. It ain't always about you. Another thing I want young players to learn from that game is Colin Gillespie. Colin Gillespie is a two-way player who came in and made a huge difference for the Suns. Scored about 10 points in the fourth quarter. Colin Gillespie is not the most athletic, nor is he the tallest player on the court. But from what I saw last night or the other night, he was one of the smartest players on the court. He played hard, and he was ready to play. He wasn't on the bench thinking that he wasn't going to get in. When he got in, he hit some timely shots, made some timely plays, got some hustle points. And all you players who sitting on the bench or who moping, you can learn a lot from Colin Gillespie. Shout out to Colin Gillespie for holding it down. Now let's get back to some more bad news. The Sixers. The Sixers is a heartbreaking team this year. We expected more. In addition to them losing, they also lost Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is out for the remainder of the season. I think he should be out of a Sixers jersey by the summer. And there's no offense to Joel Embiid. I've done different takes on Joel Embiid, give Joel Embiid nothing but praises. But sometimes you got to understand when things just not working out. Things ain't working in your favor. It's not looking good on your resume. You're not helping the team. Sometimes it's energy. Sometimes it's the energy. I've never seen a player come back from what Joel Embiid has endured since 2014. Nothing but countless injuries. I mean, he played just as many games as he sat out. There's just not a good feel. They have a kid, Maxey, over there, Tyrese Maxey, who's doing amazing, but he needs someone else who can ball with him. Paul George, the young players say he'd a GOAT. I think he's an incredible player, but let's face it, he's getting older. Some of the things that we've seen this year is just unacceptable. I did a special on the podcast, P. And 6 months in, you say, okay, I want to focus on basketball when y'all been losing the whole season. It's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable as a fan. Who am I to tell those guys what to do? But as a fan, it's just unacceptable. And I'm from Philly. Well, I already know how those guys treating and talking to him while he on the bench and going through games with 2-17. So I think the Sixers definitely got to go in a new direction. I think Joel Embiid is great, but they need someone who's going to be more reliable. Maxey is a great player. You don't want to lose Maxey. Maxey can ball. I like him. So let me know what you guys think. Who you think the Sixers should get to replace Joel Embiid? Now back to some better news. Back to some better news. That is the Lakers. Lakers is looking great. When Luka got traded, me and my producer, we was in here, and we was like, yeah, they ain't going to really do much in the playoffs, but it's going to be entertaining basketball. Fast forward 3 to 4 weeks later, we're talking about them being a number 2 seed. the number 2 seed. They played against the Pelicans the other night. Luka had 30, 15, and 8. LeBron had 34, 6, and 8. You talk about a duo. You guys, we were all thinking, oh, they're not going to want to give up the rock. They are professionals. This is what you call professional basketball. Yeah, I can do this, I can do that, but I'm going to let you do it. Professionalism. And not only is LeBron playing amazing, he's playing MVP amazing. Now, I'm not saying he's the MVP this year, but I'm going to say he's in the runnings. He's ahead of Denver. SGA is balling phenomenally. He's doing great. But if he has a meltdown towards the end of the season, I don't know. Could LeBron James be the first 40-year-old to win MVP? The numbers are there. He has the same MVP numbers as he did with the Miami Heat. The only difference now is you got younger players and you got a couple guys who might average a little bit more than him. But he's balling. His team is in the second in the West. I think he should be up for discussion. I mean, let's think about it. He got the player of the month for February, averaging 29, 11, and 7. In fact, it's his 41st time getting that award. And that's even record-breaking. And of course, against the Pelicans, he did the impossible. His 50,000th point. I want you guys to understand what you're seeing right here. I want you to understand this. You'll probably never see someone score 50,000 points ever again. This is how hard it is. He's averaged 25 points for over 20 seasons. Now, you may say, well, maybe Wemby could do it. Well, Wemby's already out 1 year. Never even averaged 25. Whoever's going to break this record, if it is possible, they ain't even born yet. They're not born yet. You're not going to see these guys. There's no one in the league right now who can do it. Luka's great, but do we see him playing 22 years like this? Nah, cut it out. We don't see that. Luka's great, but I don't see him averaging 25 points or more for the next 23 years. Joker, Giannis, let's be honest, they're great players. They're not going to do what they're doing for the next 20 some odd years. SGA would have to do what he's doing for 20 some odd years. Could he do it? I don't think so. But I hope they prove me wrong. But LeBron James, I don't know. This is a part of Brainwashed to think elite right here. What's motivating him at this point? You got to think about this. He's 40 years old. Think how hard it is for you to wake up every day at 36, 35 and go play ball. Go to work. Go do the same things over and over and over again. That's challenging. That's challenging on the mental. This guy is waking up playing basketball for the last 22 years. And he's not playing like, oh, I'm just collecting a check. I'm just sitting on the bench. I get in 6-man type of thing. No, he's a premier player on that team. Then let's talk about the other things around it. He's a billionaire. If I gave you $1 billion right now, you mean to tell me you say I'll work as hard as I can for the next 20-something years? Most people are going to get lazy. Most people are going to take days off. His son is in the league. Think how many people get their son a job as a CEO and they start to fall back. They say, I'm passing on to him. Now LeBron. And I understand why people don't like him. I understand it. Well, I don't understand it, but I understand where they're coming from because they can't emulate him. They can't mimic him. They can't play like him. You can't fake 6'9", 240 running and you can't fake having a beautiful family, putting your people on, putting your friends on to make them household names. You can't fake that. You can't fake being 40 years old and giving it 110% every single time. People say he's the best statistical player. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You talking about stats you can't get. Everybody can't score over 50,000 points. Everybody can't be top 5 in assists. Rebounds, he's about top 10. Come on, man. Let's be real. So I understand why you guys hate LeBron. After scoring 50,000 points, you gotta stop hating. My last thing on this. You know what messed LeBron up throughout his career? The branding. Kobe Bryant had a brand, that Mamba mentality, that determination, that grit that everyone can relate to. Everyone can relate to his brand, where if you are the average person, I'm not saying Kobe was average, he was 6'6", but he wasn't freakishly long, freakishly athletic, but he became something special through work ethic. The average person see themselves through that. Hey, if I work a little harder, if I wake up early, if I do it 4 or 5 times a day, I can be just like Kobe. I got the Mamba mentality. LeBron James branded as king. So it's like you're already there. It's like a sense of arrogance to some people, where it's like, oh, he's just a king, but he didn't win anything. He's 4-6. Bro, you got to think about it. It's hard to go to the finals 10 times. People are calling the finals participation awards. If it was a participation award, shouldn't everyone have it? Because that's what a participation award is, when everyone has it. When we think about LeBron, we got to think the same thing you thought about Jordan. The grit, the determination, just being relentless. Because it showed. It shows in his career. The branding was all for LeBron. But nonetheless, he definitely is the king. Our next segment is Brainwashed to Think Elite. Brainwashed to Think Elite, we talk about things outside of the box, things outside of the norm. We get away from media narratives. We talk about things that's inspiring and motivating. And I was reading a comment today, and this person did 2 things. 1, said something false, and 2, struck a nerve. I posted a video with my guy, Eric Waters. Eric Waters is an amazing young man. He played football, great guy, came on the show. We was talking some hoops, and he said LeBron James is not top 10.
If I'm being honest, Bron is not a top 10 player.
All right, bro.
Bron is not a top 10 player. Can I tell you why? And we can wrap it up.
Because it's a lie. I don't want to put lies on this podcast.
No. I'm going to tell you why Bron is not a top 10 player.
A top 10 player of what?
All time.
So the person who commented said this: y'all lost me at Bron isn't top 10. Hence the reason 33 views. So then he went on to say, the title is the reason you think people are going to watch. Literally talk bull crap and expect to get views. You think the title like Joker is not the best top 5 player right now, or Michael Jordan is not the top 5 player of all time, is going to get views? Well, let me address that. First and foremost, we'll never do clickbait on this channel. It's pointless. I spend my hard-earned money to do this. I have fun doing this. We sit, we edit, we put the videos out. This stuff takes time. So we're not going to do any clickbait. And then also, I'm not a person who don't know basketball. I've coached for 18 years, played at the collegiate level. It makes 0 sense for me to sit in front of a camera and a mic and say things so you can like it. I just like creating content. I like talking basketball. I like being around basketball. It's a passion of mine. I love it to this day. I don't play it as much as I used to. Like I said earlier, I tore my ACL a couple years ago, but I can sit and watch it on TV and say to myself, man, I love basketball. So there's no point in me giving you clickbait. The second part that struck a nerve was the 33 views. Now, I want you to understand that branding takes time. And I want this to go to anyone who's creating something, who's building something, who may be looking like, man, no one's watching, no one's liking, no one's subscribing, no one's viewing, or maybe no one's buying, no one sees me, I'm doing everything. I want you to understand, branding takes time. A couple of my go-to sports podcasts are Gil's Arena and It Is What It Is. Now, why do we watch Gil's Arena? We got, obviously, Gilbert Arenas, Kenyon Martin, Nick Young, Brandon Jennings, all who are phenomenal players. Those are guys who already built their brand. You know them from playing basketball in the NBA. So you want to hear their takes. You want to hear their opinions. And also, they got great personalities to go with it. Mason Cam with It Is What It Is. I grew up watching them. I grew up watching Mason Cam. In fact, Mace used to get me in trouble. When I was in the 6th grade, I had a girlfriend. And I tried to reenact the interlude to mess with her. And she broke up with me because she thought I was serious.
Hey, Dre, I got it. Hello?
Hello,
Yeah, who that?
it's Ariana. Hi, May.
So if they got a sports podcast, I want to see it. And also, they don't hold nothing back. They speak their opinion. They speak their mind. They don't sugarcoat things. So they're successful. And one of the main reasons they're successful is because they already had a brand. I was watching Mason Cam in the 6th grade. I'm almost 40 years old. And they're still on TV. They're still popping. They're still doing their thing because they built the brand years ago. And branding takes time. So if you a person out there that's looking for the views, looking for people to see your product, buy your product, or whatever the case may be, and you're wondering why it's not happening right away, it's because branding takes time. It takes time, and you got to be patient. You got to keep putting stuff out there, even if it's getting 33 views or 1,000 views. But nonetheless, it's always going to take time. My next segment is Dap Me Up. Dap Me Up is a segment where I say something, and if you agree with me, leave something in the comments, leave a handshake, a fist emoji, something that's you dapping me up, something that I know you agree. And if you don't agree, leave a comment. Let me know why you don't agree. You know I'm coming. I'm going to respond. So today I'm talking to my producer. And my producer, he's knowledgeable. He's young. You know, we always like to chit chat. So last weekend, Javante Davis and Lamont Roach had their fight. And it was a good fight. It was entertaining. But Tank lost. Dap me up.
The only reason I'm not saying Tank lost, because if you're a challenger and you're facing a champ, you got to beat the champ in an undecisive way.
From that perspective, I can understand it. I definitely can understand it from that perspective. However, I'm looking at it through a lens of if Tank didn't have a name, if it was just two fighters, Tank lost on points. But we're going off the politics and we're saying, oh, he got to beat the hell out of him. Then, okay, it's a draw. I still don't think he won. A draw is not a win. It's a tie. It's soccer is a tie. But here's my thing with that. I just think that they were competitive. I don't think Tank was himself. I don't know what it was. It looked like he had beef with his coach. I'm not going to put that on him. Maybe it's because they were friends before all this. So it's kind of hard to really want to knock him out, embarrass him. Or he could be trying to get his boys a check. It was a couple guys from DC on the undercard. So he could be just, looking out for guys, putting guys in position, pause. It was a good fight. It was entertaining. But Lamont Roach, he's serious. He's a good fighter. And I think he underestimated him. Lamont came prepared. And I'm not going to say he won several rounds, but he won at least 2 more rounds than Tank, for sure.
Tank taking a knee, would you consider that a knockdown?
In the fashion that Tank took a knee, I don't consider that a knockdown. Tank wasn't even getting hit during that time. Now, if they was getting it in, he hit him and he stepped away and took a knee like he did with Ryan Garcia, that'd be a little different. But he literally, they was feet apart and he said, hold up, take a knee, time out, something in my eye. Something in my eye. It wasn't no exchange. So Lamont did the same thing. And the thing is, the media is trying to spin it like, oh, he didn't. Oh, he got knocked down. He got, he got the best of him in this situation. It should be considered a knockdown because he want to put a stain on his jacket. It's just like Floyd. I remember when Floyd was getting close to that 50-0, people were drooling out of the mouth just to see him lose. They couldn't wait to see him lose. And that's where Tank is right now. Tank is at a space where we want to see you lose. Same thing with LeBron. We like, man, 22 years, no injury, no breaks, no nothing. It's getting hard for us to defend our favorite guy, Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, because you didn't take a break. You're so consistent. Same thing with Tank. They looking to put a stain on his jacket. And but I don't think that was a knockdown. I think it was a fair, hold up real quick. Now, I never seen no one do it. I never seen no one do it. I think that was some star power there, but I don't think it was a knock. Like first off, let's be clear. Do we really want the knockdown to be like that? Do we really want to walk away from 10 years from now, we're going to be like, yeah, remember that time Lamont Roach knocked him down? Do we really want to say that? Like when we watching tape, like, yeah, that one time he got knocked down, he took a knee, and we know it wasn't no, and we know it wasn't no crazy exchange to make him take a knee. It wasn't no blow to the ribs or anything. And then he literally went over there, wiped his face, and came right back. He didn't take a couple minutes. He didn't have to count, nothing. Ryan Garcia got on one knee and stayed there for a little bit. So, but it was some star power. He had some advantage. He had some Jordan rules in there, so we'll give him that. The next question. Russell Westbrook had a better triple-double season than Joker right now. Dap me up. Dap me up, my boy. My boy. There we go. Finally. I like Joker. He's having a great year. I think he's averaging about 27 points or so, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, something like that. But here's the thing. Russell did it for 4 seasons. 4 seasons. His MVP season, 31, 10, and 10. And I think that was the year he had 20, 20, and 20 for Nip. He did that for the culture right there. Both are challenging to do, right? Like from a guard position and the center position. Because as a point guard, you got to go down and get rebounds. You got to out-rebound. You got to out-rebound the biggest guys on your team and other team. He averaged 31. So he has to be a facilitator as well, right? And he's showing that with 10 assists. Joker is doing the same thing. He's averaged 27, not too far from 31. It's still hard to do. Here's my thing, though. The reason why people are going crazy right now, because Joker's averaging a triple-double as if Russell Westbrook didn't do it for 4 years, is because of his position, because he's a center. So we never seen a center do it. We've seen a point guard do it before Russell Westbrook, but we never seen a center do it. At least not in my time anyway. So people are looking at the center position as through an old school lens. Like people are looking at the center position through an old school lens, where they like the center was the guy who just score and get rebounds. We didn't grow up seeing a center do this. And we didn't grow up seeing a center be a ball handler, a passer, shoot threes, and also grab rebounds, and for his size, the way he carry himself. We never seen it. So he's getting more praises simply because of his position, though. But I still think Russell Westbrook is going to have the best triple-double years of all time.
Do you think you will see another player average a triple-double?
Yeah. I think we're going to see another player average a triple-double. I mean, you got You got guys like Wemby out there. You got guys, obviously Joker. I think Giannis can do it. I think Giannis can do it as well if he can be able to pass out of a double team. Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum can do it as well. SGA. I think SGA can get there. He 6'7" guard. And the list probably goes on and on. But yeah, I don't think it would be as hard as it was before, right? Because now the players got more skill. They got more depth to their game. They got a bigger bag, as people would say, where they can do more. They can shoot threes. The center can now push the ball up the court and make the plays. Versus when I was growing up, you was getting subbed out of the game if you was a center. You took 2 dribbles after a rebound. Shooting a 3, you might as well shoot your 3, and as soon as you shoot your 3, you take your jersey off, go to the bench, put your shoes in the duffel bag, and go home. Because if you shoot a 3, especially like in college, are you crazy? If you was a center in college back, I'm talking early 2000s, and you shot a 3, you're out of here. And you definitely didn't have the ball enough to make passes. I think Chris Webber was one of the top guys when it came to making passes from that elbow position or the elbow on the court. So, but it'll be more guys that do triple-double for sure.
Do you think we're being numbed down to how difficult it is to get to average a triple-double in the season? Yeah.
But again, though, it's just a testament to the skill set. It's a testament to the skill set. We are desensitized to it because now we're seeing it so much. A lot of stuff that we used to hear about was just that. We heard about it. Like Will Chamberlain scored 100 points. We didn't see it. Now, did LaMelo score like 91 points, 95 points in high school, and we saw every bucket and we saw how he did it? You know what I mean? A bunch of cherry picks and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily, I think now things are being desensitized because you see it on a nightly basis. You see it on your phone. You see it on the TV. You see it on your computer. You see a kid in high school doing the same thing. That's why I think the dunk contest is not a big deal no more, because you can go on YouTube and see someone do it better. I just watched a clip where a kid in the middle of the game on a fast break took the ball behind his legs and dunked it. I mean, it was an old clip, but I'm thinking to myself, yo, you know how much you probably have to practice that, or how much confidence you have to just try that in a game? So everything is going to be desensitized over time. But I think what's making Joker's triple-double unique is because it's just from his position and it's from his body width, his athleticism. Like, Russell Westbrook is super athletic. And, a Joker doesn't look athletic, but he's super strong for sure. I bet he's super strong. But yeah, I think I just think everything is being desensitized because everyone got skill now. And the last segment is me interacting with my people, me interacting with other scorers. What is a scorer? A person with a relentless attitude, a person with a short-term memory, because you're not going to make every shot. You want to miss some, but you got to keep shooting. You got to keep doing what you need to do. You need to persevere. And you can use that mindset on and off the court. So I like to interact with fellow scorers through the comments. And I put out a video with my guy, Eric Waters. And I say Allen Iverson is a top 10 player of all time. He revolutionized the game. He started the whole small ball thing. Yeah, I think so. If I had to sit down and put it all together, AI definitely in the top 10 of all time. Comments went crazy. I can't read all the comments. I'm talking about it's over 200 comments on various platforms. Over 200 comments. And I'm in shock. Personally, I'm in shock to see so many people disagree with me. People disagreeing with me. I'm gonna read a comment. AI not being top 10 isn't a controversial take at all. I've never seen anyone call him a top 10 player. If you want to say he's top 20, sure. So here's my thing. I'm asking guys to name 10 players that's better than him. So somebody said Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Wilt, Kobe, Shaq, Steph, Larry, Hakeem, Duncan, etc. Again, Score society, we think outside the box. We don't follow what the media tells us to follow. I'm clicking on some of these pages. Some of you guys got cartoons as your avatar. Ain't no way you saw Wilt Chamberlain. Ain't no way you saw Larry Bird. Ain't no way you saw Bill Russell. So you just going off what the media told you to go off of. Ain't no way you want to sit here and tell me you watch a whole 1975 season of Oscar Roberts on YouTube. Ain't no way you're going to tell me that. And there's no disrespect to them. I believe they were great players. I've seen videos. I've seen highlights or whatnot. And they were great players for their time. I'm not taking nothing away from them. But I'm not going to sit here and say, this player is better than a player I follow my whole life, at least my whole life of basketball. I followed this player from Georgetown to his last year in the NBA. So why would I tell you that Larry Bird is better and I was born in 85? How can I tell you that? Because the media tells me to tell you that? So I understand that it might come as a shocker. So I asked my producer, was AI a top 10 player? And immediately he says no. AI is not a top 10 player. And I said, name some. And he struggled to name some, just like most of you are doing. You just haven't heard Allen Iverson be considered a top 10 player because the media hasn't told you that. So if the media don't tell you it, then he's not a top 10 player. I'm going to give you my list of top 10 players of all time. But before I give you my list, I'm going to give you the reason why these people are on my list. Because they made impact immediately. They made impact as rookies. They made impact, with the exception of one, and I'll get there. They made impact despite all the pressure, despite the team. They just came in, they did what they needed to do. My first person on the list, of course, is LeBron James. LeBron James came out of high school. Man, I've already had so many segments about him. I'm not going to go into all that. He came out of high school, had a bunch of pressure on his shoulders, and he does his thing. He's still doing his thing to this day. So LeBron James is number one. Of course, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan revolutionized the game. He came in. He didn't win right away, but he definitely averaged over 33 points a game. Averaged over 33 points a game, I believe the first or the second year. But he revolutionized the game. He changed the way we play. And he just couldn't be stopped once he got his groove up in around 1990-ish. All right? So I give it to Jordan. Then Shaq. Shaq is my third. Here's why Shaq is my third. One, of course, he came into the league, rookie of the year, one of the most dominant players of all time. Here's why I say he's dominant. Shaq didn't shoot threes. Shaq couldn't hit free throws. He wasn't known for no 15-foot jump shot. So you would think it'd be easy for you to stop. Nah. Shaq was averaging 30. And that three-peat, he averaged in between 36 and 38 points for all those series. You can't match that. You're talking about a person who wasn't shooting threes. So he should be easy to stop. You should just double him and then it's done. He's too dominant. So Shaq is my third player. And then Kobe. Now, Kobe didn't make a tremendous impact right away, but his work ethic got him past everyone else. Now, he wasn't the leader on those three-peat teams, but he played a significant role. And he was relentless. He persevered. He's a true scorer, not only on the court, but also mentally. So I give it to Kobe as my fourth. Then I'm going to say D. Wade. D. Wade came in the league, made an impact immediately within the first 3 years. He wins a championship. He wins a championship as a leader. That's remarkable. I commend him for it. And I put him high on the list for me is because that was more my time. That was more my era. I've seen more of his games than I've seen Magic Johnson or Hakeem Olajuwon. Then that leads me to my next guy, Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon came in averaging 20. He made an impact on the college level. He made an impact at the NBA level. There's only been a few teams that won NBA championships with only one All-Star. The 1992 Houston Rockets was one of those teams. Hakeem Olajuwon was the only All-Star on the Rockets that year and still won a championship. So I give it to Hakeem Olajuwon. The next person is Magic Johnson. Now, I know Magic should be higher on the list, but like I said, I was born in the 80s, so I wasn't watching basketball at 3. I couldn't tell you what Magic Johnson was doing, but I definitely caught the tail end of his career when I was about 5 or 6. And I've also understand that it's hard coming in the NBA as a rookie and winning a championship. And Magic Johnson did that. And he also revolutionized the point guard position. So I got to put him up there. I got to put him up on the list. Then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Again, another guy who I caught at the tail end of his career, but I got an opportunity to see someone revolutionize the game, especially by changing his name, by the way he played, for what he stand for. The hook shot is still unstoppable. I don't know why people don't teach that no more. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is up there. And then my 9th spot, Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson is in my 9th spot. But the reason why I say Allen Iverson is because another person who came in immediately and made impact for this, not only his team, but the NBA. In the 90s, if you go back and look, the top 5 scorers in the 90s were mostly big men from 91 all the way to 98 when Allen Iverson averaged 28 points a game. People are saying all these guys are better than Allen Iverson. But here's how I look at it. You can't name a player who can average 30 in any era and take that 2001 76ers team to the finals. Can't name a person. I promise you can't. And you have to give me an example. You have to show me why. Why? How could he have done that? Because the only way you can show me is if he already did it. Every player at some point in their career had to be on a team by themselves as a superstar. They had to be the only superstar in the team. Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, all those guys. And they didn't take them teams to the finals. Allen Iverson did. I'm not even going to throw the height in there. But just off of pure ability, you will put Allen Iverson in the 70s, he's doing just that, averaging 70. You put him in the 80s, he's doing just that, averaging 80s. And we seen what he did in the 90s, and we seen what he did in the 2000s. Unfortunately, he didn't finish his career how I wanted him to finish it, but nonetheless, for 6-7 years, he was terrorizing the NBA. And my 10th spot is Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is another guy who came in right away, averaging 19, 20 points a game. He did have another superstar alongside him. He won about 5 rings, but he didn't win all the finals MVPs. So that means he had a good teammate around him at all times. However, I'm not taking any credit away from him. Tim Duncan deserves to be up there, so I'm going to put him in my 10th spot. Now, my honorable mentions is Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Kevin Durant made impact right away, but we've seen things where we like, yo, why isn't Kevin Durant winning with this team? I think he can score 30 in every era, but I would like to see Kevin Durant have more grit, have more of a relentless attitude like a Kobe, like an AI, like a LeBron, like a Jordan. And he didn't show it when he could, but I'll put him up there. Steph Curry, you may say, well, Steph Curry is better than Allen Iverson. Well, yes, I agree. Steph Curry had a better career than Allen Iverson. But I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to players spending 3 to 5 years developing and then taking off. Wait. Well, I'm not a big fan of players spending 3 to 5 years developing and taking off, and then we say, okay, he's better than the person who had to put the team and the franchise on his back from day one and actually did it. I'm not putting Steph Curry over Allen Iverson. I'm not putting him over that because Steph Curry had about 3 years where he had developed and he had a team around him. You know how I know he had a team? He has 4 championships. He has 1 finals MVP. And there's no knock on him. Yes, Steph Curry is amazing. He's great. But I can't put him over Allen Iverson because Allen Iverson is one of the only players who I can honestly believe that he can play in any era and average 30. And he's probably one of the only players, him and LeBron, to take that Sixers team to the finals. Because LeBron did it with Eric Snow on the roster too. And Eric Snow and George Lynch and all those guys too. So I'm sticking with it. I'm sliding for Allen Iverson. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I tripping? If I'm tripping, let me know how I'm tripping. Let me know a solid 10 players that you actually grew up and watched and you saw for yourself. And you can tell me why all 10 of those guys, just a sentence, all 10 of those guys are your top 10. Until next time, let's continue to think elite and together. Welcome to Score Society.